Good morning and welcome to the Joseph Apartments Talk Show. This is episode number 74. We get about 1,500 views and we're in about 20 different social media sites. So we're excited to have you here. I want to introduce our first guest here. Josh is with Elite Home Inspections. Josh, what is going on in the world of home inspections?
Yeah, so home inspection industry, recent market rates go up, little less transactions. But what I love about what we're doing in particular is we're adding more value. We've actually, we look up to Northern California. When they close a transaction, apartment, single family residence, they actually require a sewer camera inspection. The city needs that in their hands before they'll close on the property. So we've started to see this creep down to the middle of the state. So we've added that service into our experience. So we can, when we're inspecting an apartment, single family residence, you can add a sewer camera to the inspection. It's $225. Great value add, especially when we look at the cost of those things.
Yeah.
We love eyes underground. That's the one way we can get eyes underground. Second thing we've done to add more value to our inspection package, we've been in business for 36 years. On average, we do about 25,000 inspections in the state of California every single year. We've added a roof certification division. And talk about, we've had a lot of rain here in Southern California, right? So that division is really successful. What I love about it is it was birthed out of the real estate industry. We noticed that a lot of roofers did not serve that niche. A lot of roofers want to come and replace roofs. They don't want to fix the leak. They're going for the big bucks, right? The success has been with that program. So we've seen investors position their listings with a roof certification. We've seen agents position other larger properties having that pre-inspection done. And if we look at Northern California, there's a much more proactive real estate market than we have in Southern California, where they're getting the home inspection done, the termite inspection done, the roof inspection done, and then when somebody submits an offer, it's they're reviewing all those files before they move forward with the transaction. Here in Southern California, it's a little bit more reactive, where we're going into second rounds of negotiation. And so we're also seeing that push, that wave out in the marketplace where, hey, inventory's down. How can I position this listing in the strongest possible position? Well, I know if we disclose these things up front, that'll avoid the second round of negotiations, hopefully, right? Not all the time, but that's what we're pushing for. We're offering a sewer camera. We're offering a home inspection. We're offering a roof certification. And so we're seeing that out in the marketplace.
So you see
right
that
now.
coming here, the sewer inspection?
Oh yeah. I do have some brokerages that make it mandatory as a brokerage, at a brokerage level. Yeah.
You heard it here first. How do we get hold of you?
Yep. My direct cell phone is 909-912-4607. Once again, 909-912-4607. My office is always really fast too at 800-494-8998. Once again, 800-494-8998. If you Google Elite Inspections online, you'll see us come up. We'll have over 10,000 five-star reviews, and I encourage you to read those as well.
Your email.
My email, elitegroupjosh@gmail. elitegroupjosh@gmail.
Speaking of sewer camera inspections, Jacob is here to talk about property management. What's going on in the world of property management? You are running the property management division here at Ambassador. What's going on? What's new?
Thanks for having me on. A lot's been going on in property management, especially in light of the rains and everything happening. So a couple of things just want to highlight, remind folks about, be good to kind of do after a season that we've experienced with all the rain, is to call your tenants. We've kind of what I've seen is we've fallen into a habit in light of COVID the last couple of years to not be as diligent in inspections, and tenants have gotten a little used to that. So it'd be good for us to kind of break that mold and to follow up with tenants and ask them, hey, have you seen any leaks? Have you seen any water damage? And a big reason for that is following that, we've also seen the cost of repairing these things, especially if they continue on, to rise significantly. So a smaller thing that might have developed into a bigger price item of repair might not have been that big of a deal, but now we're seeing the cost specifically for plumbing, for drywall repair, to really skyrocket. As well as scheduling contractors has been difficult. We've had to have more time ahead of that. So if you haven't had a chance, contact your tenants, ask them to do an inspection, or you set up an inspection of your property yourself. to go and look at that, that's something we would really recommend, especially in light of all the rain in the season. And the other day I was on a roof looking at an inspection. We was checking out a leak at a property, and the work that people would think, oh yeah, I just did a roof job, and I asked the contractor when that was 3 years ago. A lot's happened since 3 years ago.
Yep.
So a lot of the work that has already been there, please follow up, do your due diligence. It'll save you a lot of headache and your tenants a lot of pain. So that's definitely one big thing there. A second thing I wanted to just highlight this is I've been doing some thinking, had done some research around emotional support pets. So this is something that's been pretty big, and unfortunately tenants have been taking the incorrect information in the market, have seen commercials on how they can abuse emotional support animals, and have just been taking them into the property without going through the proper channel of approval with owners. And so that's really unfortunate, but owners are not left without recourse in that respect. So you can ask a tenant to prove that they have a disability that would require an emotional support animal. They can't just give you some fake doctor's note they received off the internet. They actually have to be able to prove it, and there's regulations around who can approve that and how long that person must have been in a relationship with that medical provider to then give that diagnosis. So it's good to know. And then secondly, you can put reasonable accommodations around what that pet should be, but also how that pet should behave. The big issue we're seeing is people bring these pets in and they don't train them. Okay, you can't have, especially if it's an apartment building, you can't have a pet who's serving as an emotional support animal also be a disturbance to your neighbor, because that's creating then actual other emotional abuse, or causing that. We have an example of one of our tenants. A young girl lives there and she's scared to walk by that door because the dog barks at her. That's creating distress in their family. So there's a lot of things. So you can do the research. Last thing with that is, one easy thing to make sure is vaccinations are actually required by the county. So that's an easy thing to point people to hey, you can't have this pet here that's not vaccinated. It's against code. That's an easy thing to point out, and as well as recommending training and establishing that as being like the expectation that this dog is not allowed to be a nuisance. The dog is an extension of that family, of whatever animal, not allowed to be a nuisance if that is the case. So a couple of things there to help with owners that's happening in property management.
How do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, if you want to get a hold of me, you can give me a call at 562-329-1222. That's my direct cell line here. If you want to shoot me an email, it's jmarrero@ambassadormgmt.com. My last name is Marrero. So jmarrero@ambassadormgmt.
Congratulations to him. He just began managing a 42-unit building just down the street on Scott Avenue. So that's pretty awesome, 42 units. Next, we have Joe, our appraiser. What's going on in the world of appraiser? Tell us what's going to happen to prices and what's going to predict the future for us.
Yeah, my name is Joe Cruz. I'm a state certified appraiser. I just took LA County, just telling you how the market is affected here, and I don't know if you can see that, but basically you can see that in January 2022, the average for LA County only, single family, $899,500 was the price. In May of 2022, it peaked at $1 million. That's 11% increase. Then you can see a big drop. And then today, as of February 2023, the average house in LA County is $860,000. That's a 4% drop from January all the way to February, which is not too bad. I mean, I thought it'd be worse. I didn't bring the slide for Orange County, but Orange County, the same period, 1.2 million. Today, 1.2 million, flat. Orange County hasn't changed. So that was really interesting to see. And then there's a correlation on interest rates. And then I came up with this, as you might know, the Federal Reserve has, since March of 2022, increased the rates 9 times. And they just increased it again in March, 0.25%. And you can see when prior to the raise of the interest rate, the 30-year mortgage was at 6.25. In one day, it went up to 7.25, 1 whole percent on interest rates. So, so there's a lot of correlation between the real estate market and the interest rates. And so, if you ever want to know, what your house is worth, or for any reason, you can give me a call. My name is Joe Cruz, Appraisal Hub, 951-522-6349. And my email address is admin@appraisalshubs.com.
Thank you. So if you want a home inspection on your property or a property of a client, get a hold of Josh. If you want professional management of a house, an apartment building, a triplex, or 42 units, not to brag, get a hold of Jacob. And if you want an appraisal for your estate, or if you've got a new listing like my son did, and you want a second pair of eyes to look at that property and give you kind of feedback of what it's worth, you can hire Joe here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.